Alright YouTube, I'm back. Alright, this is going to be another sex game video. Now I can't guarantee if it's going to let me get past 5 or 10 minutes. Keep your fingers crossed. It might be one of those videos where it just cut off and then you have to do another one and another one. But this will be the last video for the day, and you probably won't get too many of these videos throughout the week because I'll be going on a bunch of job interviews. By the time we get to either the end of July or the middle of August, or before the summer's over, I have to at least get a part-time or full-time job before my dad sits me down and say, hey, you've had a certain amount of time to go look for a job, so why haven't you got any callbacks or no second interviews to see if you're going to get the jobs or not? So, won't be too many YouTube videos. So, this one's going to be something that pickup artists and dating coaches do not talk about, and their pickup artist seminars. The ones that last 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. The ones that they charge anywhere from $500 to almost $3,000 cash for you to go to and attend to, and they don't want to disclose this information. Now, I'm going to call the title Sex Game, It's in Her Eyes, Hot Game versus Cold Game. Now, I got this idea about 4 weeks ago when Solo TV 84 did a 3.5 hour podcast with X on YouTube. You know, the guy with the sunglasses that always turns the camera to the opposite direction so you can't see his face. And these other two gentlemen about what was better. Cold approaching or game. And they kind of said that game is highly overrated and that it's, better if a woman just approach you. Now, and Solo said he quite, disagree with them on that, and he even did a podcast sometime after that with wannabe Ice Cube, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Now, I kind of agree with Solo TV 84 here, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, if you get rejected countless of times, how would you know if you got any good game or terrible game if you approach women? You go to the nightclubs, the bars, you hit the beach, you go to the park, the movie theater, you try to mac in the gym. And to me, I think instead of calling it cold approach, I'm going to call it hot game. Hot game is where you're just on fire. You just can't do no wrong, and you're on a tear. You're on a winning streak. You know how professional basketball teams just win 5, 10, 15 games in a row, and it's a winning streak? So I'm going to call it hot game. Hot game is where you speak to like 5 to 10 women, and you can get 5 out of 10 phone numbers, and everything goes good. You take them out to lunch and dinner. Maybe in 3 to 5 months later, you smash that ass 2 or 3 times. You take some pictures. You post them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever the hell it is. That's hot game. You're text messaging. You're getting phone calls. And when you're out to the park playing basketball, or you're in the gym working out, or you're at work or in college, you hang out with the guys, and conversation comes up somewhere in that 2.5 hour or 3 hour conversation when it's with you and 5 other guys. Y'all get to conversating, and y'all get to talking about who your girlfriend and who your woman is. And a lot of guys might challenge you to hot game, which means, why don't you take out your cell phone number and show me some pictures? Put her on the phone, or show me some text messages. Show me some proof of evidence that this woman is your girlfriend, or y'all casually dating. And it might take you, a while. That's hot game. Cold game, or as they say, cold approaching, that is where you are just not able to physically, sexually attract women, period. You talk to black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women, Indian women. You try to talk to young women, old women, and you still get rejected. There are days where you get so desperate, so hard up for some ass, You try to go holler at women that's fat and out of shape, and you still get rejected. And you're trying to figure out in your head, why am I constantly keep getting rejected? Like, it's not like the realization and the reality, it disturbs you, it bothers you. Now, let's talk about a concept that I call "it's in her eyes." Now, you know how women roll their eyes? This is like universal. Doesn't matter if it's black women, white women, Mexican women, Asian women, Indian women. I don't care if you get some women from foreign countries. I'm talking about here in the United States, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You have this process where if a woman find you physically, sexually attractive, she'll smile. Like, she'll actually give you a happy smile. Like, she'll make it obvious and clear to you that she's interested in you. And then there is something that most of us make a mistake of doing, is that we don't do very good when the woman gives us attention in the first 3 to 6 months, and then somewhere around month 4 or month 6 or possibly month 7 coming up, from out of nowhere, she takes the attention away from us. And we start to get a little nervous and concerned because we're not used to someone, if you weren't never getting no attention in high school and college, that is. If you went all of high school and all of college, 4 plus 4 is 8 years. So in a 10-year period, for 8 years, you kept striking out. You kept striking out. For 8 years, it was always fake phone numbers, fake email addresses, fake home numbers. You try to take her out for coffee. She don't show up for an hour and 30 minutes. You try to take her out for lunch at McDonald's or Burger King. She don't show up for an hour and 50. You try to take her out to dinner. She don't show up for 2 hours. You try to take her to a picnic at the park. She don't show up for 3 hours. So that's 4 rejections. And then you try to, you see her at work, and she avoids you like the night of the living dead, like you're a disease or some shit. And again, that's rejection. That's 5 rejections. That's 5 times your ass got shot down as a man. I'm talking about if you're a black man, a white man, a Latino man, an Asian man, or an Indian man. That's 5 rejections. Then you turn around and you catch her off work, but there's a security guard, Big John, who's 6'8", 250 or 260 pounds, and he looking at you like he'll knock you out like he's Debo from the first Friday. So that's 6 rejections. You see her at the gym, and you want that explanation, but here comes another security guard. Here comes Tyrone, 6'6", 280, swole and buff and shit. What's up, homie? Why you messing with a dog? Come on, homie. So Big Tyrone punk your ass. That's 7 rejections. And then you try calling, that's automatically 8 rejections. And I'm talking about in the 6 to 7 month period that leads up to a whole year. Finally, she gives you an explanation, and then she just finally just says it. She just don't find you physically, sexually attractive, and that she just don't see you as a potential mate. She only sees you as a friend. Oh shit, now your ass is in you in one of these. If there's anything worse than going to jail, if there's anything worse than state penitentiary, it is women putting you in the friend zone. And every man, at some point in their life, whether it was high school, college, at work, at the gym, you do know what the hell the friend zone is. And some people might say, what the hell is the friend zone? Friend zone is a nice way of saying that's how you got rejected. So I'm giving you an example of a guy trying a total of 7 to 8 times to approach one woman, and he keeps getting rejected, and no matter what he says and no matter what he does, it never works. That's cold game. Some call it cold approaching. I call it cold game. It's like when your game in basketball is just ice cold. You'd put up 15 shots in the first 2 quarters of a pickup basketball game, and none of your shots is going in the basket. And your friend is looking at you like, pass the basketball, hot dog. You hot dogging. You'd have put up 20 damn shots, and all 20 times, none of the shots have gone inside the basket. So your game is on ice cold. It's like you on shutdown. Somebody, got you D'd up on defense. You can't even get no shot. You try to go up, you get blocked. You try to bring the ball down low, you get crossed over and the ball stolen. You try to pass the ball, someone steals the pass. So your game ain't going nowhere. Like Macho Man Randy Savage used to say in wrestling, "Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage, you ain't going nowhere." Well, that's what happens when your game is on ice cold. You just can't get nowhere, no matter where you go. You go to the park, you go to the beach, the movie theater, the gym, work, school. You see a woman at the supermarket, the mall. You're trying everything and anything, and nothing seems to actually work. And so you stop talking to black women. So now you move on to white women. Same thing repeat itself. Same painful cycle. So you leave black and white women alone. So you move on to Latino women. You move on to the Asian women, the Indian women. And before you know it, you at home in the bathroom taking a shower, looking in the mirror, trying to find out what the hell just happened. And you men know what I'm talking about. Black men have had this happen to them. White men, Latino men, Asian men, Indian men. All y'all can tell me that somewhere in your life you've looked into a mirror and scratched your head and tried to figure out what on God's green earth is happening to me. Why am I not getting no results with women? I'm saying the right stuff. I'm doing the right stuff, and nothing seems to go nowhere. But yet I see 5 or 10 guys at the park or at the beach or at the gym, and their game is on fire, and they're just getting anything they want with these women. Well, I'm here to tell you that people say you gotta pick up on signals. You gotta know the signals. Okay, here's what I have a problem with guys like X and the other guys in the podcast saying about it's better to have a woman approach you. First of all, that's a misconception. That's called watching too much television and too many Hollywood films. There is no such thing as that. And in the real world, if you want a woman to approach you, you got to do self-improvement. You got to put in some hard work. You got to self-improve in 7 to 8 categories. And I'm not just talking about just so you can get laid 10 times over. I'm talking about your finances have to be in order. So that means you're going to have to get 2 jobs or 3 jobs and save up a bunch of money. You're going to have to figure out how to get from riding the bus and the train to either getting a car, a truck, or a motorcycle to show that you are dependable and you're not depending on a system to take you from point A to point B. Then the next thing that has to change is you got to get out of your parents' house and either, if not get a house, get an apartment, and again show that you're dependable and you're not dependent on someone else. So that's 2 categories you have to improve in, or should I say 3, because there's the money, there's your living situation, and then there's the fact that you got to get a job. And then there's your social skills. Do you know how to talk to women? So then that has to improve. Then your clothes got to improve. Then your hygiene. I made a video about your hygiene. So when I say you got to self-improve in 7 to 8 categories, or as they would say in the hood, get your shit together, only when you get your shit together and only when you get it together, then women will approach you. But when you don't have it together and you're not doing any self-improvement, you don't get the luxury of saying, I want these fine, bad bitches to just come up to me and speak to me. It's like what Solo TV84 said. There have been a bunch of times where he has had to constantly approach women because he was not the man. Remember in my last video called Sex Game, What's Your Number and Your Last Name? And I told you if you're a 10, if you're the king of the hill, if you're the king of the mountain, if you're the top dog, then only then everyone will approach you. But when you're not the top dog, when you are not the man in demand, when you are not the heavyweight champion in boxing, you have to be the one to approach. So, code approaching, or should I say, when your game goes ice cold, it's actually good because it's something that I learned from a Clint Eastwood movie. Either in the second or the third Dirty Harry movie, Clint Eastwood said in the movie, how's a man gonna get some goddamn experience if don't no one give him a chance to get any experience? And that's a true saying. You know how many men on average get rejected? Every single day. As of right now, there's at least 7 men in some city or state that's either at work, at school, at the gym, at the park, at the beach, at the mall, at the movie theater, that is facing rejection, embarrassment, humiliation, whatever you want to call it. And guess what? They're experiencing anger and sexual frustration. And they're not finding it easy to approach women. Now, it's called wishful thinking to say, I wish the girl that I had a crush on at Top Shop, Top Man would approach me, which she did. But unfortunately, because my social skills were not up to par, it hurted me more than it helped me. It wasn't until almost the second year, which is 2019, obviously. It's not until the second half of this year, the first half of this year, that my social skills begin to get better. Unfortunately, it's too little too late, because if you don't get no phone calls and you don't get no text messages, then there's really nothing you really can do. So my game at that point in time was not hot. My game was ice cold. Now with other girls after her, it was on fire. Now, I didn't ask for the other girls' phone numbers, but when I wanted a conversation, there wasn't no struggle. There was no anxiety. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't, oh my God, the girl's talking. It wasn't none of that. It was, I knew what I had to say. I knew what to say. I knew what not to say. I knew what to do. I knew what not to do. But how would I feel if I told you that 80% of men do not know the signals of women giving them interest? Because you get rejected for so long, you don't know because you keep getting rejected. So how could someone know signals if they're being rejected? So I have to be the one to tell you when a woman is giving you permission to seek her out. We all know when you don't get permission to seek her out. That's easy. Her get on the phone and call the police on you. That's a huge indicator that she's just not interested. You're at school, you get brought into the principal's office, and you get suspended for about a week. That's how you know she don't like you in high school and college. When you see the principal. If it's a college, you might see school campus police. And if you have a job, you might be sent to an H&R's office. Those are signals right there that she don't find you physically, sexually attractive. Even if she in the beginning liked you, later on she may not. So that's like her rolling her eyes at you, which is, it's universal. I think it's funny and poetic that women roll their eyes to let you know they don't like you, which we all know that's full of shit. Because when they hit the wall and they get up there in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, they don't do no more of that rolling their eyes bullshit, because they're no longer physically, sexually attractive at those ages. So when a woman hit 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 60 years old, all that rolling eyes bullshit, it stops. Because they're not getting as much attention anymore. But the point that I'm trying to say is, you'll know that a woman don't find you interesting. She ignoring you, there goes another sign that she's not showing interest. She ignores your conversation. You're talking, she ignores you. You crack some terrible ass jokes. Again, she ignores you. You try to say hi to her a total of 5 times and she disrespects you by ignoring your whole entire conversation. You say goodbye because you're leaving for the rest of the day, and again she ignore you. And you're mad and upset because she keeps ignoring you. Right? Those are signs she don't fucking like you. Now, for the things that guys don't know because they can't get past the bad signs that the girls don't like you. If a woman drops a handkerchief on purpose and she's doing it in proximity to where you are, that sounds like to me that she's giving you permission to come talk to her because there's a level of interest. Or my favorite one, she might drop her panties. Or, I mean, she might take her panties off and write her phone number on her panties and give it to you. Now, you probably might say, what the hell what the hell I'm going to do with some woman's underwear? The point is, if she writes her phone number on the panties, that's a sign of interest. If she takes her bra off and takes lipstick out or makeup and writes her phone number on the panties or on the bra, that is a huge sign of interest. Here's another one of my favorites. She drops her car keys deliberately on purpose and you run into her and you accidentally touch her. Now, you do know that if you were to do that without her permission, that would be considered, sexual harassment, sexual assault, rape, that type of shit. But if you touch her and nothing happens after that, that's a huge sign that there's a level of interest. Here goes another one. She starts slapping her own ass, and the only one that is seeing it is you. That is a clear sign that yeah, she most definitely wants you to approach her at that very moment. Or if she shows her breasts in your face, her breasts is all in your face, and you see them as clear as day, and they're in your face, and she don't say nothing after that. That's a pretty good sign that she wants you to show some interest. Or if she jumps on the next treadmill, that's a clear indication that she's showing interest. Or if you accidentally fell on her ass or breasts by accident and she don't go run downstairs to the front desk at 24 Hour Fitness and say he did something inappropriate, and she smiles and starts laughing after you just realized you felt her ass and titties and she got your reaction, that let me know right there that there's a level of interest. So I'm telling you the signs, because nobody really talks about the good signs. See, if you're getting rejected for 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, you're never going to be able to experience what I'm talking about. Women who find men physically, sexually attractive will put out strong signals that are easy to read and identify. I'm serious. If a woman intentionally on purpose, here's another one. Here's where they start talking to you verbally. She'll communicate to you that she want to do something sexual. Like, she'll on purpose will probably masturbate in front of you. I've actually had women, I've actually had some women actually do it. Actually masturbate in front of me. And that was a huge indicator. I've had women do it in a car plenty of damn times. I've had women take their top off and show me their breasts at a bus stop. Even when I went on a road trip to San Diego, they did it. I've had girls have their ass out of the window and show me their ass. Those are all indicators that there is some level of